The 203rd Municipal Class will be led forward by the class coordinator, New Jersey State Police Sergeant Frederick Peters and Trooper Eric Rodriguez. Please rise for the presentation of the colors by the Newark Police Honor Guard, who will be accompanied by the Newark Fire Department Pipe and Drum Band. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Detective Mesa Washington of the Newark Police Division, who will sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets right glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I ask that you please remain standing as we observe a moment of silence and reflection for all the brave men and women who have lost their lives protecting our nation, both at home and abroad. Thank you, and may they never be forgotten. I would ask that everyone continue to stand for our invocation and welcoming comments, which will be delivered by Department of Public Safety Deputy Chaplain Father Paul Donahue of St. Lucy's Roman Catholic Church.
Let us bow our heads in prayer and ask our patron, Michael the Archangel, to intercede for us with the Lord God. In August, Lord, you bless these servants as they began their training. Today we gather because they have completed it and they are about to begin their service. We joyfully present them to you. You blessed them then when they began their training. Bless them now as they go forth to serve our community. May they do so wisely and safely in whatever situation they may encounter. Confirm in them the conviction that love is greater than hatred, that compassion is stronger than violence because your Son conquered death. Send them forth with the promise that you will walk with them, keeping them safe and capable to respond as you would. May your blessing strengthen in us, all of us, your grace and wisdom, for you are God forever and ever. May I have an amen?
Amen. Thank you, Father Donahue. You may be seated. Good morning. It's a great day here in Newark. My name is Raul Malavi III. I'm the Assistant Public Safety Director here in Newark, and it is my honor to serve as a co-master of ceremony for today's event, along with Newark Police Captain Donald Robatella. I'd like to welcome you all to the Department of Public Safety's swearing-in ceremony for the 124th Newark Police Division's recruit class. Today's ceremony will also serve as a graduation for the New Jersey State Police 203rd Municipal Class. Before we begin, I would like to take a minute to acknowledge all the dignitaries who are in attendance with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, we have United States Attorney, District of New Jersey, Craig Carpenito. Oh, he's not here. United States Secret Service Special Agent in Charge, Mark McKevitt. Essex County Sheriff, Armando Fontura. Essex County Acting Prosecutor, Theodore N. Stevens II. Essex County Prosecutor's Office Chief of Detective Mitch McGuire. Newark Fire Chief Rufus L. Jackson. Newark Municipal Council members, we have the Honorable LaMonica McIver, Council Member from Central Ward. The Honorable Louis Quintana, Council Member at Large. The Honorable Eddie Osborne, Council Member at Large. The Honorable Aníbal Ramos Jr., Council Member, North Ward. Business Administrator for the City of Newark, Eric Pennington. City Clerk for the City of Newark, Kenneth Lewis. New Jersey State Police Academy Commandant, Captain Philip Buck. I also would like all of you to pay attention to the list of esteemed speakers we have for today's program. They'll be introduced as they're called forward to speak. We also have OEM Deputy Coordinator in Newark, Juba Dowdell. Juba. Special Assistant to Director Ambrose, Donnie Gonzalez. Thank you all to our dignitaries and public safety partners who took time from their busy schedules to be part of today's ceremony. I also want to take a quick moment to thank Father Paul and St. Lucy's staff here at St. Lucy's for inviting us to their beautiful house of worship. They always roll out this red carpet for public safety, and it's much appreciated, Father Paul. At this time, I'd like to turn the mic over to Newark Police Captain Donald Robatella, who will introduce you to the Newark Police Division's command staff.
Morning. I'm Captain Donald Robertello, Commander of the Police Training Division. I'd also like to acknowledge members of the Newark Police Command staff who are here with us today. We have Special Assistant to the Public Safety Director, Deputy Chief Kevin Schneider. Deputy Chief of Operations Bureau, Arthur George. Deputy Chief of the Support Services Bureau, Jose Gonzalez. Special Assistant to the Public Safety Director, Captain John Zudik. Captain Kerry DeSantos of the Office of the Chief of Police. Special Assistant to the Public Safety Director, Lieutenant Deirdre Gully. 1st Precinct Commander, Captain Camilo Moss. 2nd Precinct Commander, Captain Cesar Soares. 3rd Precinct Commander, Captain Adolf Perez. 4th Precinct Commander, Captain Michael LaRue. 5th Precinct Commander, Captain Michelle McPhee. 6th Precinct Commander, Captain Lee Douglas. 7th Precinct Commander, Captain Peter Robles. Consent Decree and Planning Division Commander, Captain Brian O'Hara. Communications Division, Captain Anthony Rawa. General Crimes Division, Commander Captain Robert Kowalski. Representing the Major Crimes Division is Lieutenant John Evangelista. Municipal Arrest Processing Section Executive Officer, Lieutenant James Lopez. Office of Professional Standards, Captain Antonio Dominguez. Property and Evidence Division, Commander Captain Darren Marasco. Special Operations Division, Captain Anthony Costa. Special Victims Division, Captain Aurelio Silva. We'd also like to thank and acknowledge the Training Division Executive Officer, Lieutenant James Bird, as well as the staff of the Training Division. Thank you all for what you do. The hard work and dedication of the Newark Police Command staff focuses the efforts of our officers and galvanizes our agency to bring the best police services in the state of New Jersey to the members of our community. Last and certainly not least, we'd like to acknowledge Newark's newest police officers and their families who supported them to get them here to join our Newark Police family. Thank you all for attending today.
Without further ado, it is my great honor to introduce our first speaker this morning, the mayor of a city we can all believe in, the great city of Newark. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Honorable Mayor Ross J. Baraka.
Thank you. I'd like to first, again, thank Father Donahue and St. Lucy's family for being a partner with us here in the city of Newark, always opening their doors for us no matter what, allowing us to have these ceremonies here. And by the grace of God, we've been having many of them. We want to continue to do that. Want to also thank and acknowledge the State Attorney General here with us this morning. Also, our Colonel of the State Police, Callahan, who's here with us this morning. I want to recognize those two because they have been partners with us here in the city of Newark. We have witnessed a lot of success in the city, and it would not have been possible without these two gentlemen and their agencies helping us and the Newark Police Department and the residents of this city to drive crime down. And I would like to also recognize the prosecutor's office, the U.S. Attorney's office, and the FBI and all of the other partners that we have to help us get to where we are today. We have a lot more to do, but we've done a lot, and with their help and assistance, we have reached some serious milestones. I want to congratulate new officers here today, congratulate you, your families, for the work that you have done. Our Public Safety Director, our Chief of Police here today, I know they're just as proud as I am this morning. The first time I stood before you, there were 144. And we prayed that 144 would make it across the line. 144 didn't make it across that line. 82 did. And I feel sad that we couldn't get 144, but what you should feel is that you made it, that you endured high levels of physical, emotional, intellectual challenges, and you made it here today. And the mayor gets a bunch of emails, phone calls, text messages from a lot of folks who are not in these chairs today, trying to get back to where you are. So what you have done is a feat, and you should be proud of it. Your family should be proud of it, that you are now a part of one of the finest groups of men and women in this state, and in my estimation, in the entire United States of America. So give yourselves a round of applause, your family members at least. Today you are new, tomorrow you won't be. I know they just read off a whole bunch of names of people you don't even know yet. Command staff, folks that are very, very committed to this work here in the city. People, precincts you don't know, the folks there, the captains there, the things that you're gonna get into. But I want you to remember your training, and that's important. I want you to remember the training you went through, the things that you've learned. And I want you to also remember when you go to those precincts, when you get out in that field, with those folks, the only thing that people can give you is what they went through, their past, their experiences, and you learn from that. But what I want you to know that the future is yours. The future is yours. What the future of Newark looks like is in your hands. What the future of policing looks like in this city is in your hands. And I want you to know that Newark is changing. Despite what people feel and think and believe, Newark is changing right before their very eyes. It is molding itself, it is growing, it is expanding, it is becoming a city that we can all believe in. A city that people counted out a long, long time ago. A city that's pushing forward. And it's your responsibility to make sure that city continues to push forward. You're not here to police the community, you're here because you're a part of the community. You're a part of every church, every masjid, every synagogue, every cathedral, every house of worship in this city belongs to you. Every family, every block, every community, every child belongs to you in this city. Every schoolhouse, every street corner, every place that you walk is yours. And that's how you should look at it, that this community is your community, whether you were raised in it from a child or whether you adopted it as an adult. This community is now your community. These families in your community are now your families, and you have to begin to treat them like that. And if you remember that, if you treat them like that, I think that you will be okay. And the last thing, yeah, you can clap for that. The last thing is that you have, like Father Donahue says, you have to carry God with you. We can give you everything that we have, but God is a personal relationship that you have to create. And when you leave your house in the morning, you have to carry God with you. When you're out in that field, you have to carry him with you. When you're in those cars, when you're making decisions, when you're trying to figure out what is the right thing and the wrong thing to do, you lean on God. Not your own understanding, but his. Let him carry you through those dark moments, those difficult times, those issues that you'll have out there, the danger that you're experiencing. Because we're asking you to put your life on the line for 300,000 residents of the city that you may not even know. You have to carry God with you so you can leave safe and you can come back home to your family the same way you left. So I say Godspeed to you and carry God with you wherever you go. So that being said, are you guys ready to take on the challenges of being police officers in the city of Newark? Yes, sir! Are you ready to make our streets safer? Yes, sir! Are you ready to be a part of the best community in the entire state of New Jersey? Yes, sir! Godspeed to you and God keep you.
Thank you, Mayor Baraka. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the Director of Public Safety for the City of Newark, Director Anthony F. Ambrose.
It's tough going after the mayor. I try to go first, but I can't. Let me first thank Father Paul Donahue again for opening up this beautiful church to us, to the mayor, who is our biggest supporter for public safety, to the council, to the families of the men and women that are going to transition into being police officers in a few minutes. We wish you luck, the families. I wish the new officers also luck. We will be talking, the chief and I, to you at the police academy. I also want to look at the command staff that were introduced to you. This is the best of the best that are sitting there, all of them. One way or the other, they sat where you sat. I sat where you sat. The things that the mayor talked about, the qualities, they have that. And that's why they succeeded and they became captains and deputy chiefs, sergeants and lieutenants. And that's something to look forward. Let me thank Captain Buck of the New Jersey State Police for the fine job he's done. Also to our training division, Captain Robertello, to our Assistant Public Safety Director, to the Chief of Police that we work hand in hand each day. And the mayor did say about the state police partnership, the Attorney General, Kabir Grewal, and Colonel Callahan. The partnership that we have with the New Jersey State Police is second to none. They're the best. Our relationship with the prosecutor's office, the sheriff, Secret Service, all our federal agencies. We can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. I'm going to go a little personal today, which I didn't prepare. I just have some names. But I'm just going to tell a small story, and it's going to be quick. I sat in your seat because, and I'll make the subject, following footsteps. When I was a young boy growing up in the North Ward of the city, I decided that I wanted to be a police officer at 5 years old. I didn't want to be an NYPD officer. I didn't want to be a state trooper. I didn't want to be a Port Authority police officer who made a lot more money. I wanted to be a Newark police officer. And I had an uncle that was a police officer. So I followed his footsteps, and I would torment him each and every day about, what do you do? What does a cop do? And finally one day he said, well, I work on the other side of town. I work in the 5th Precinct, and you handle accidents, people with heart attacks, and you have to break up fights. So, you know, if you know me well, I'm very curious. So I started asking questions. What do you mean by fights? What do you have to do? But at age 12, I still continued that I wanted to be a police officer. So he said, you know, I'm going to take you to work with me. And at that time, he left the 5th Precinct, and during them 7 years, I would go with him to the 5th Precinct for his check. I thought I was going down the shore because I was on the other side of town I wasn't familiar with. And what happened was, at 12 years old, I went to work with him. He was in the emergency service unit. And I can recall that night was a busy night. It was a Friday. And I sat there. You know, it wasn't all about lights and siren, going through red lights. And our first call was on on Irving Street in the North Ward. Was a person had a mental disability, and they had to put him in a straitjacket. And I watched them do it, and I said, I don't know if I want to do this. And then the second call came in, and it was a stabbing in Lincoln Park. It was Hotel Lincoln call, and the gentleman was stabbed, and there was a lot of blood. And there was a gentleman with no shirt on. And the 3rd Precinct car had handcuffs on this individual, and they put a blanket on him. So at the end of the shift, we were driving home, and I said to my uncle, wow, I was critiquing everything that happened. I said, let me ask you, why'd they put a blanket on that guy that had handcuffs on? He said, well, let me tell you something. He said, this job isn't about cops and robbers. He said, I'm going to give you 4 words. He said, and if you can remember these words, he says, in life you should remember them, but especially in dealing with people. And being a police officer, you're going to have to. And he said the first word was fairness. The second word was respect. The third word was dignity and pride. And I looked at him and I said, wow. About a week ago, well, actually 3 weeks ago, my mother called me. She said, I found a book report you did for school on being a police officer. And them words, there was one more word. It was fairness, trust, respect, dignity, and pride. I remember my uncle telling me that we have it as police officers, and the people that we deal with also have that. And once you take away their dignity, their pride, their respect, you have a problem. They can give you all the training, how to fire your gun, when to fire your gun. They can give you all the training, how to fill out reports and the elements. But the elements you need to know, because each and every day will never change. You'll always deal with people. And that's important, that you think about people, how you treat them fairness, you're trustworthy with them, respect them. They have dignity, like you have dignity, and pride. They have pride. So I just want to tell you, congratulations. Remember what we talked about today, and I hope to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Ambrose. It is my pleasure to now call forth for some remarks the Chief of Police for the City of Newark, Darnell Henry.
Good morning. I would like to congratulate the members of the 124th recruit class and welcome to the Newark Police Division. I would like to take this time to thank Colonel Patrick Callahan, Superintendent of the State Police, for his invaluable partnership in training the Newark Police recruits at their academy in Seagirt. To the 124 recruits, I'm very proud of the endurance you demonstrated over the past 20 weeks, which symbolizes your commitment to serving the residents and visitors of the great city of Newark. It seems like yesterday I sat with your city today, filled with excitement, mixed with a little fear, proud, and impatient for my career to begin. 25 years later, I stand before you to share the secret to your success as a Newark police officer. The secret is service. Providing service with respect, fairness, and sensitivity when responding to calls, assisting a person in need, even when you're issuing a summons or making an arrest. In a few minutes, you'll be signing your mission statement. This statement is your guide to success, a successful service. Remember, we the members of the Newark Police Division are empowered by the community, and we nurture their trust by holding ourselves to the highest standards of performance and integrity. In welcoming you to the Newark Police Division, I encourage you to cultivate partnerships and collaborate with the community. I expect you to be problem solvers, think outside of the box, and find new ways to address persistent issues. Be smart, be safe, and be of service. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Chief Henry. I'd like to call back up Director Ambrose.
I was going to wait to the end, but I think this is the best time to do it. We talked about following footsteps. I would just like the following new police officers to stand. Rashid Sabor Jr. His father was a homicide detective, seasoned, very good at what he done. Succumbed to cancer not too long ago after he retired. I hope, and I know you're the same as your father, you'll be an asset to the Newark Police Division. Also, Joshua Burnell, please stand. Joshua Burnell, his father, who's an active police officer, who is fighting for his life right now in a hospital. We wish you luck. Tyler Gonzalez. Tyler Gonzalez is the son of a Newark police officer. Kennedy Murray is the son of an Essex County Sheriff's officer who's retired. Justin Corio is the son of a Brookfield police officer. Matthew Bernardo, the son of a Belleville police officer. Christopher Gomez is the son of a retired NYPD officer. Angel Concepcion, he is the son of a retired East Orange police officer. So these fine gentlemen, and I'm sure there's other stories that people followed their aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, their footsteps. I think it's important because the things my uncle told me, them words, I'm sure your father told you, and you'll be successful if you listen to them. Congratulations.
Thank you, Director. It is now my great honor to introduce the keynote speaker for today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me give a very warm welcome. No, it's Greg Wolf first. Please help me give a very warm welcome to our New Jersey Attorney General, Gubir S. Grewal.
Good morning, everyone. Mayor Baraka, Director Ambrose, Chief Henry, Colonel Callahan, proud families and friends, all the distinguished guests here today, and most importantly, the 124th Newark Police class. It is truly an honor and a privilege to be with you today. I want to start first and foremost by congratulating the 124th class. Members of the 124th class, as you were preparing to enter the New Jersey State Police Academy this summer, something incredible happened here in Newark. It happened on July 8th of this year. It was a typical Sunday afternoon in the summer. It was hot. There were family get-togethers taking place all over the city. Children were playing. Some were cooling off in the water. Shortly before 4:10 p.m. that Sunday, Newark police officers Malakul Aziz and Shaquille Johnson received a call. A 2-year-old child had gotten entangled in an inflatable pool. She couldn't lift her head out of the water. She wasn't breathing. Within about 90 seconds, after receiving that call, the 2 Newark officers responded to the 100 block of 3rd Avenue, not too far from where we are today. And as soon as they arrived, and before they could even get out of their patrol car, they were met by the young girl's father. He was in a panic, and he was holding his young, lifeless daughter in his arms. Officers Aziz and Johnson did what they were trained to do. They rendered first aid. Officer Johnson took the girl, flipped her on her stomach, and started applying back taps. They cleared the little girl's airway. She began to breathe. They saved her life, and they are heroes. And here's the thing. They sat where you sit now. 7 months before they saved that little girl's life, they, like you, graduated from the New Jersey State Police Academy. And on that Sunday afternoon, because they were wearing body cameras, their heroism was captured for the world to see. And the world saw what we already know, that you are now among the finest trained law enforcement officers in this state and in this country. And the world saw that each day, across this state, police officers engage in acts of heroism. Whether it's responding to a call to render life-saving first aid like Officers Johnson and Aziz did, or administering naloxone as so many others do to bring back to life someone in the midst of a crisis, or breaking up a fight, or simply saying hello to a young person while you're on duty. Now all of you have the ability to be heroes at any given moment. And here's my advice to you. Embrace those moments. Folks, there's a reason why people like that panicked father run to law enforcement officers across this state. It's because, as someone once relayed to me as a very young prosecutor, each of us in law enforcement is given a powerful gift, a truly wonderful gift. And it's a gift that you may not realize that you've received until the first time you meet a stranger and you tell them what you do. And immediately, they'll believe and trust what you say next. It's a gift that you might not realize that you've received until the first time you take an oath to testify in court and get up before a judge and a jury. And you'll see that everyone believes instinctively what you're about to say next. It is this gift that brought that panicked father running to those 2 officers with his lifeless daughter in his arms. And that's the gift that allows law enforcement, which now includes each of you, to accomplish so much of the good that you will accomplish during your careers. That gift has been called, quote, a reservoir of trust and credibility. It is a reservoir that has been built and filled by thousands of good deeds and positive interactions by all the officers, all the law enforcement professionals who came before each of you. Complete strangers that you'll never know, or whose names will be passed down in stories you'll hear from other Newark police officers. It is a reservoir that has been filled and protected by the ethical leadership of Director Ambrose and Chief Henry. It is a reservoir that has been filled by the sacrifices of all those officers who have given their lives in service to protect the public. Those fallen officers whose names we read each year at memorials across this state and in Washington, D.C. And it is a reservoir that has been added to by Officers Aziz and Johnson, who did so much on that day that they helped save that young girl's life. That is the gift you receive as you enter this most noble profession. And as the recipients of that reservoir, I implore each of you to add to it, to guard it, and to pass it on to the next generation of officers fuller than you received it. I want to thank those 2 officers. I want to thank them not just for what they did on that July afternoon, I want to thank them for what they do each and every day. And I look forward to reading about your accomplishments and about thanking each of you for all the good deeds that you will accomplish throughout your careers. Because I know you will do so much to earn that gratitude. And in the end, It's the everyday interactions with the public, those tiny, decent things, the ones that sometimes aren't even recorded, that aren't broadcast, and that may never get the attention that they deserve, that make you the true ambassadors of your profession. It is these interactions that help carry forward the work of all those officers who came before you. It's what helps fill that reservoir of trust and credibility. And just like when I was a young prosecutor, I was implored to cherish that reservoir and to never compromise it. And I implore the same of you, because although that reservoir took years and years to fill, it is said that it can be drained in an instant. Now, that's not to say that you have to be or that you will be perfect. Mistakes will be made, but acknowledge them, learn from them, and importantly, correct them. And know that you will have no bigger supporters than myself, the colonel, the mayor, the director, the chief, when you do your jobs correctly, no matter the scrutiny. As you leave here today, I also implore each of you to take pride each day you put on your uniforms. Take pride in the rigorous training that you have just completed. Take pride in the physical, mental, and emotional challenges that you have overcome. Take pride that you're joining an organization that is so rich with history and tradition. And know each day the public counts on you to come to their aid. Know each day that as police officers, you make us proud, that you make an entire profession proud, that you make your families, your friends who celebrate with you today proud. So to the members of the 124th Newark Police class, congratulations, good luck, and please stay safe.
Thank you, Attorney General Grewal. It is my privilege to present our next speaker, a man who's a great partner and friend to the City of Newark. Ladies and gentlemen, New Jersey State Police Superintendent, Colonel Patrick J. Callahan.
Good morning, everybody. Mayor Baraka, Director Ambrose, Chief Henry, Father Donahue, and certainly General Graywall. I love the fact that we have this in a church, and I'll echo some of the mayor's remarks about God and his place in this profession. But to start, I'll talk about a little bit, I'll follow up on what Director Ambrose talked about in following in footsteps. My grandfather was a Linden police officer for 32 years. My father was a Jersey trooper for 29 years. So I had the privilege to be around men and women that wanted to be part of something bigger and better than themselves. And that's what you're taking the oath to today, to be part of something bigger and better than yourselves, and not just in the city of Newark or the state of New Jersey, but in a profession that's viewed across the entire nation as that line that stands between those who want to do us harm and those law-abiding citizens. Welcome to one of the greatest professions on earth. I also learned over the course of my lifetime about the uniform, and whether it's French blue like the one I'm wearing, navy blue, brown, white, that it's really not the uniform, it's the men and women that put it on. I often tell our troopers that it's really the things that you do when you're not in uniform that will probably define you most, because your neighbors, your congregation, if you're a soccer coach, a basketball coach, a Sunday school teacher, they're all going to say, you know what? She's a Newark police officer. You know what? My son's basketball coach, he's an officer in Newark. They're all going to know it because it's important, because they hold you to a higher standard. And that's why it's important, not only when you're wearing it, but the things that you do when you're outside of it that'll probably count the most in our efforts to what I call humanizing the badge. Because let's face it, unless you work a lot of overtime, you're probably going to be in this uniform about 40 hours a week. And that leaves a lot more hours when you're not in it, when you're out engaging with the community, and you're out there building that reservoir of trust that the Attorney General referenced. And your job, as Director Ambrose talked about, as far as community relations and human relations and your ability to interact with people, that's going to be the key. People don't call 911 to say that everything's going well. They call because they have a problem. And it's going to be up to you and your partner, and sometimes you're going to be by yourself, to bring a resolution to that problem, great or small, whether it's a stray feral cat that's gotten into somebody's apartment or a fatal situation that you're going to have to respond to and be the first responder and hopefully to mitigate that situation like those 2 officers did in July in saving that baby. The other piece that I think is important, what the mayor talked about, was about God. You're going to take an oath in a few minutes, and there's 4 words that every oath ends with, whether you're a police officer, a firefighter, the attorney general, the colonel, and those 4 words are, "So help me God." And that baby is screaming. He probably knows I was the 5th and final speaker and wants me to wrap it up. But that's all right. You don't get to be the anchor man for nothing here. But that oath, those 4 words, "So help me God," it's so important, and I always tell the troops, that ends with a period. But in this profession, when you go out on your day or night shift, you have to remove that period, because I say you're going to have to fill in the blank, as the mayor talked about, and carry God with you on your shift. So it's, "So help me God," when I'm called to a backyard party and have to save a toddler who drowned in a pool. "So help me God," when I'm going to have to tell a mother and a father that their 17-year-old just wrapped himself around a telephone pole and won't be coming home. "So help me God," when I have to wrestle a 300-pound drunk who also smoked crack. "So help me God, so help me God." Last few things I'll leave with you, and the Attorney General alluded to it, is about people's dignity. There are some people, by the nature of their circumstances and where and when they've been born, that they've been born with the proverbial 2 strikes against them. They've been born into dysfunctional families. They've been born into poverty. They have been born into addiction. They have been born into a family of mental illness. And the one thing that they have left, some of these people that you'll engage with, is their dignity. And I implore you, and I challenge you, all 82 of you, and everybody else who's wearing a uniform in this room, including myself, do not ever try to take their dignity away from them, because they will fight you for it, as they should. Last class that came through the State Police Academy, Sergeant Cornwell was one of the instructors, and what he did early on in that class, you know the dorms that I speak of down there in Building 8, he'd leave a candy wrapper in the hallway. And he wasn't doing it to teach them about the Newark ordinance about littering. He was teaching them, one wanted to see how long would it take one of them to pick it up. First day goes by, second day goes by, third day goes by, and finally he picked it up. And the nature of that lesson, and the general alluded to it as well, is about leaving wherever you are better than you found it. Whether that's your neighborhood, a precinct, the city of Newark, the state of New Jersey, the great country that we live in. Leave it better than you found it. And if you approach every assignment like that, how could the city of Newark and the state of New Jersey and this nation not be a better place? It's my hope that 25 or 30 years from now, that your family and friends are as proud of you on that day when you're retiring as they are today, because that will be the true indication of whether or not you are successful in serving your community. God bless the city of Newark, the state of New Jersey, and the greatest nation on earth, and may God look over all of you. God bless.
Thank you for those insightful words, Colonel Callahan. And now, for the moment we've all been waiting for, the oath of office. To celebrate this momentous occasion, the Mayor Ras Baraka, will administer the oath of office for police officer.
Good morning. This is what you all have been waiting for. I'm Ras Baraka, Mayor of the great city of Newark. I'm here today to administer the oath of office to our new police class. Please repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of police officer in the Police Division, Department of Public Safety of the City of Newark, according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations.
It gives me great pleasure to now introduce to you Newark's newest police officers. The officers will now sign our mission statement after being welcomed into the Newark Police Division. As I call your names, please step forward. I would ask that everybody please hold their applause until all the names have been called. Gianna Kufari. Please hold your applause to the end. Thank you. Alicia Lauderdale. Crystal Rosario. Desmond Reyes. Rosanna Garcia. Omar Gallardo. Robert Maneri. Vero. Chris Guerrero. Justin Moss. Christian Salazar. Dario Bernal. Justin Espinoza. Jason Thomas. Hector Melendez. Yasin El Hemyani. Steve Pereira. Daniel Silva. Luis Gallegos Velez. Christian Yumpo. Rudan Ramsahai. Ibn Shaquan Grant. Aquil Young. Sharon Kamal. Gabriel Gonzalez. Alexis Gonzalez. Carlos Bernard. Please hold your applause to the end. Thank you. Laura Ciesla. Vincent Angelone. Nicholas Etter. Gabriel Goncalves. Please hold your applause to the end. Thank you. Jude Sharon. Abdul Aziz Yassin. Oscar Acevedo. Again, please hold your applause. Thank you. Daiji Pagan. Connor Peterson. Stephen Abreu. Tyler Gonzalez. Christopher Perez. Eldy Torres. Ryan Holmes. Nicholas Diaz. Secretary, please hold it down. Thank you. Please keep it down. Thank you. Michael Orr. Miguel Mercado. Angelo Gagliotti. Joshua Paul. Please hold your applause to the end. Thank you. Edwin Guzman. James Jordan. Carlos Nahara. Matthew Bernardo. Anthony Matthews. Giancarlo Zazzara. Please keep it down, thank you. Joseph Kelly. John Cosme. Christopher Gomez. Ryan Castro. Please hold your applause to the end. Thank you. Please hold it down as we continue reading the names. Show the other officers some courtesy. Thank you. Stephen Acevedo. Justin Corio. Roberto Vera. Joshua Bernal. Andre Dozier. Okai Saki. Darrell Grace. Sir Quandell Hayes. Michael Heel. Kenneth Brown. Luke Kelly. William Johnson. Gerard Cosentino. Mario Saccone. Eric Peralta. Rashid Sabor Jr. Angel Concepcion. We're almost there, then we can let it all out. Kennedy Murray. Folks, please keep it down. We're almost there. Stephen Nelson. Brianna Simmons. Alan Richardson, drummer. Edward Fortune. Christopher Donker. Michael Laspisa. Alexander DeFuria. And Gregory Gord. During the course of their academy training, several recruits have distinguished themselves in one form or another. We'd like to recognize some of the officers for their outstanding achievements and performance. The first award is the Academic Award. This award goes to the recruit who's achieved the highest academic average during academy training. This recruit maintained an A average throughout his training. Police Officer Christopher Perez, please step forward. The next award, the Firearms Award. This award is presented to the recruit who achieves the highest degree of proficiency during firearms training. This recruit actually achieved a perfect score during her firearms training at the academy. Police Officer Gianna Kafari, please step forward. Next award is the Physical Training Award. This award goes to the recruit who achieved the highest average score of all recruits during physical training sessions conducted at the academy. The Physical Training Award goes to Police Officer Luke Kelly. The next award is the Merit Award. This award is chosen by the recruits themselves for the recruit who's gone above and beyond to aid and assist his fellow recruits throughout their academy training. The Merit Award goes to Police Officer L.D. Torres. The last award is the Newark Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 12 Pride Award. This award is presented by the Newark FOP and is chosen by the Academy staff who train the recruits. The recruit is chosen based upon their high level of dedication and commitment to excellence. Detective James Stewart Jr., President of the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 12, will be presenting this award. The recruit who was chosen to receive this award, for those of you keeping score, it's his second one, is receiving his second award, like I just said, Police Officer L.D. Torres. Congratulations. The City of Newark and the Newark Police Division would now like to recognize some of our law enforcement partners. We'd like to formally express our gratitude to New Jersey Attorney General Rabir Graywall for his dedication and commitment to the City of Newark. Your assistance and continued partnership with us is greatly appreciated. Thank you, sir. Next, we'd like to also recognize New Jersey State Police Superintendent Colonel Patrick Callahan and the New Jersey State Police Academy Commandant Captain Philip Buck for their efforts and their support. We'd also like to thank the staff of the New Jersey State Police Academy. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and your expertise with our recruits. We're eternally grateful for all you've done. Thank you.
Yeah, they're done. How's that arm? Yeah, I bet. Look, Father Paul. I would ask that you please rise for Department of Public Safety Deputy Chaplain, Father Paul Donahue, who will lead us in our closing prayer.
Let us bow our heads and ask for the Lord's blessing on these women and men trained to serve. O God of all peoples, you gave us a marvelous example of love in Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus himself trained his disciples and sent them ahead of him to prepare the communities he would visit. Send down your blessings on these women and men as they devote themselves to helping others. Set their hearts on fire from above. Give them wisdom so that they may balance kindness with respect. Bless their families and watch over them so that they may find renewal in the time they spend with those they truly love. May this blessing descend upon them here and now and remain forever. May I have an amen?
Amen. Thank you, Father Paul. And thanks to the staff of St. Lucy's Church one more time for not only assisting us, but for also hosting today's ceremony. St. Lucy's always feels like home. Please clear the center aisles as the officers of the 124th Recruit Class will get into formation for the official class photo. We will need the aisles cleared. Thank you.
Command staff, and they can march
We'd ask that everybody